Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to talk about the medic problem in Battlefield 5. Now, the medic class, many of the classes really for that matter, have been completely overhauled, but the medic has seen more changes in terms of how it plays and what the meta is compared to any other class in the game. It's also a bit more restricted in terms of gameplay variety. Other classes have interesting gadgets and multiple kinds of weapons to pick from. The Assault has DMRs and assault rifles. The Recon has bolt-action snipers and then self-loading rifles or fast-firing rifles. And then the Support actually has three different types of weapons. You got your light machine guns, your medium machine guns, which are bipod only, and then you also have very aggressive shotguns. So you can really make some very interesting and different class types within the other three classes. But Medic only has SMGs. And when it comes to gadgets, you really don't have too many interesting options either. You can pick between bandages or a medical crate, and honestly, the crate really doesn't seem to have much point in that it just allows other players to walk up to the crate and heal themselves if you don't want to bother doing it. Otherwise, it's very easy to throw bandages to people. It's not like the support class crate, which has added benefits beyond the ammo pouch, allowing players to resupply some of their gadgets when they go up to the crate. So there's actually a point in using it. This one does the exact same thing as a pouch. So that's unfortunate. And then for the other gadget, you have the smoke grenade launcher, or you can switch to an anti-personnel mine, which other classes also get in the game. So it's not a unique or particularly interesting trade-off. Not to mention, smoke is so necessary to get revives on the battlefield. You need to put down some cover, that using the smoke grenade launcher, for me anyway, feels like a must-have in the AP mine. I've never even really bothered using because it's a very defensive gadget. So to me, there's literally no interesting class customization that you can do with the medic right now. And then when it comes to weapons, we can only pick SMGs. We're limited to close quarter combat engagements. Now, the SMGs vary a little bit in their style. There's ones that shoot very fast and are hard to control the recoil. There's ones that can have a big increased ammo capacity. And there's ones that are a little bit easier to control the recoil, so you can kind of push the range out a little bit, but they're never going to hold up against pretty much any of the weapons in medium range combat. In fact, in close range combat, the Assault has some assault rifles that can out DPS these SMGs pretty effectively, and the Support has shotguns, which are also very damaging in close quarters. So even there, the medics don't really reign supreme. It's not that SMGs aren't good in close quarters. They are actually quite effective. They're just not that much more effective than any other class. And then when it comes to the actual revive meta, the medic has been considerably nerfed from previous Battlefield games. One of the coolest updates to Battlefield 5, in my opinion, is the fact that squad mates can now revive any squad mate. Very cool. Unfortunately, this makes the use of the medic's ability, reviving people, far less useful. So now medics are going to miss out on a lot of their revives, provided that somebody actually holds and waits for a medic, because the squad mates are going to get there before them. And so you have to ask the question, okay, why do we even need a medic in our squad if we've got 4 organized squad members who are there to revive each other all the time? Support can carry smoke grenades, we can put down cover, we should be able to get revives off without the medics. Yes, the medics can do it faster, but is that really that big of a benefit at the end of the day? If you don't count revives, the only real benefit medics bring to the team is healing squad mates, and that is useful, but if you revive a teammate, they also come back with full health. So you have to ask yourself, okay, well, if I just die in combat, my squad mate revives me, it's not really an issue at that point. I'll respawn with full health, or I'll revive with full health. Or if we fight through and get to the next capture point or the next conquest control point, we'll be able to heal up at one of the stationary medic supply bays anyway. So the utility of the medic has just like gone way downhill overall. Then you combine it with the incredibly limited weapon variety of close quarter only. Decent close quarter weapons, but still close quarter only. The majority of the maps not being close quarters, at least not all the time. And then even the close quarter maps having a lot of medium and long range engagements. The medic just is not a class that ends up being that fun to play. For me personally, I know some people enjoy it, and that's totally fine. But when you compare it to what the medics used to be in previous Battlefield games, they were so much more interesting. I mean, you had the self-loading rifles in Battlefield 1. You had ones that were slow firing and very accurate at range. They could be played as sort of counter snipers. You had ones that had very limited ammo capacity but faster rates of fire in close quarters. You had some good variety in the self-loading rifle department, and it allowed you to play either a close range combat medic or a medium long range combat medic. And many of the weapons got much better if you combined them with some really good skill and accuracy to back them up. So the medic could actually be a very, very effective combat class if you were a high-skilled player. And I like that about it. It could be decent, and there's plenty of basic weapons that the average player could use, but there were some special weapons in there that if you had really good accuracy and gun control with semi-auto rifles, you could absolutely dominate in certain situations. And so there's a big variety there. You know, you could bring a lot of different things to the table and mix it up in how you played, but you were always still a medic at the end of the day. It was just still fun to fight and get into combat. And I kind of see what DICE is doing here with Battlefield 5. They've limited you to close quarter only, which means a lot of the combat at range you're not going to be able to engage in. So maybe you'll just take cover, you'll wait for your squad mates to go down while they're fighting at further ranges, and then you'll revive them. DICE is like forcing you into that exclusive revive role unless it's close quarter combat, which is interesting. And on paper you might be like, oh yeah, people are actually going to finally start playing the medic class the way that they are supposed to play the medic class, using combat as a secondary and reviving as a primary like purpose. The only problem is that it's so unfun to play the medic that nobody's on the battlefield out there reviving you as a medic anymore. So the medic has to be fun, and to make it fun, you need weapons that can engage people at most ranges, right? You can't just limit it to close quarter only. People aren't going to play it on any of the big outdoor maps. And I encourage you to pop up your scoreboard on any of the bigger wide open maps and see how much of your team is actually playing medic, because it's not going to be a lot. I mean, literally on this Twisted Steel map, I think myself and 2 other medics on our 32 player team. So that's a pretty small number of medics. There's a little bit more on the enemy team, but still, it was like 4 or 5 out of 32. Still a class minority among all the other classes out there. And so I don't know. I think DICE can do a lot more to make the medic class better. I don't like to make a criticism video without providing some way to fix it. And I think the obvious fix is to give medics back their DMRs. I don't know why the assault was given all the DMRs. It seems like sort of a silly weapon class. And then the support's got 3 weapon classes. Take one of the support weapon classes like shotguns. That would make a lot of sense with the assault class. Pop the shotgun over to the assault class. Give the medics their SMGs and their DMRs. And then you've got some more interesting class balance there. I mean, I do like the DMRs with the assault, but I can still play them with the medic. I like the weapons enough that I would play the medic just to use those fast-firing DMR-style rifles, the carbines, and then we'd have an interesting class. And then I could have fun playing the medic, and I would also be good at reviving and healing my teammates. So that would be cool class balance. I think it's super obvious. The thing that I'm afraid of is that they've already created an entire progression tree around each of these classes. And I don't know if that would screw everything up if they made it so that carbines could never be switched over to the other class, because the whole progression tree is baked into the game now and it would be a huge headache to switch it back. I have no idea if that's even possible. This is the first time a Battlefield game has had those class-based progression trees, and if they switch it after the launch, is that going to screw everything up? Is it even possible? Most likely what's going to happen is they're just going to add a bunch more carbines to the game and give them to the medic class. I think that's the easiest way forward, the most reasonable way forward. The downside is that we have to wait for them to add more weapons to the game. Maybe they'll make some weapons multi-class weapons, or they'll switch some as universal class weapons. We've got a ton of universal class pistols in the game where they were class specific in BF1. So maybe they can put some more in that category. I don't really know, but I hope DICE has a good plan in place. I think they've talked about sort of having some plans with the medic to do some more with it, but in my opinion, it just needs a lot more to make it more fun universally. I know there's some people that really love playing the medic out there, and that's totally fine. I'm not like knocking your playstyle or how you like to play the medic class. I just think for more players, for them to want to play the medic class and take over that role, it's got to be more enjoyable in combat. And right now, it's just so limited that it isn't. So you can be effective, as you can see here, top of the scoreboard with the medic. But again, I'm playing on Fiel and very, very specific game modes to do so. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about this particular topic, or if you have any different ideas on balancing the medic in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.